Look, folks, I know we've done everything we possibly can to sully the reputation of Warner Brothers, completely destroy the Max streaming service, but somebody has to give the quarterly report, to the shareholders. Does anybody want to volunteer? Any volunteers at all? Simpson, how about you? No? Okay, well, can you at least trim the hedges while you're in there? Daniel, Kiki, what about you two?
Hell no.
Okay. What if I shaved David Zaslav's head and put the Watchmen television show back on the platform?
I volunteer as tribute.
Katniss, perfect. Thank you so much for volunteering. Hey, make sure to bring your bow and quiver with you, and you know how it can get in there. And also, treat this meeting as if it could have been an email, and you're going to do absolutely fine. And as always,
may the odds be ever in your favor.
set 64 years before the events of the first Hunger Games film, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes chronicles the early life of Coriolanus Snow, Tom Blythe. The last surviving son of a once great house, the Snow family has fallen on hard times since the war. Determined to restore his family to greatness, Coriolanus sets his eyes on the Plinth Prize, a scholarship to the capital's prestigious university. One final obstacle stands in his way: the 10th Annual Hunger Games. With the public growing disinterested, Dean Casca Highbottom, Peter Dinklage, tasks 24 Academy students to mentor the 24 district tributes. Vindictively, Highbottom assigns Coriolanus the worst tribute from District 12, Lucy Gray Baird, Rachel Zegler. As Coriolanus sets out to make Lucy Gray not just a spectacle, but a victor, he finds himself developing feelings for Lucy Gray, and a once certain future becomes perilously ambiguous. Almost 11 years ago, the Hunger Games film series debuted to critical and commercial success, catapulting the career of Jennifer Lawrence and filling the void left by the Harry Potter franchise. Unfortunately, the series didn't conclude as fortuitously as it began, with fans and critics questioning the decision to split the final film into two movies, and the box office returns not as strong. Although Suzanne Collins' prequel novel proved successful, you wouldn't be wrong to question whether the world needed another Hunger Games film, especially when society seems to be sliding into an actual dystopia. So believe me when I tell you this: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes has no business being this good. Impeccably acted and directed with whip-smart alacrity from Francis Lawrence, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes presents a familiar world to fans while simultaneously delivering a fresh story that doesn't feel derivative. Indeed, screenwriters Michael Leslie and Michael Arndt flesh out the early days of Pan Am. Set merely a decade after the civil war between the capital and the districts, most of the population doesn't care about the Hunger Games. Ratings are at an all-time low, and the tradition is on the verge of being mothballed. What's fascinating and fresh about Leslie and Arndt's script is how The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes examines the games from the capital perspective. We see the otherization of the districts by the wealthy elites. No one seems particularly disturbed by this ghoulish endeavor, with the exception of its drug-addled co-creator Casca Highbottom and Snow's classmate Sejanus Plinth, played superbly by Josh Andres Rivera. While Rachel Zegler gets top billing as Lucy Gray Baird, I'll get to her performance momentarily, this is 100% Tom Blythe's film. I fully believe Blythe is a star in the making. The character of Coriolanus Snow has already been fully established as a villain due to the brilliant work of Donald Sutherland in the original films. He's diabolical, manipulative, vengeful, ruthless, and cruel. It seems impossible to take that person and make him into the protagonist. Yet Blythe pulls this off effortlessly. We feel true empathy for him and the plight of his family. The light of humanity still shines within despite the environment and the people surrounding him. Lucy Gray's spirit seeks to fan this flame, so when Snow's humanity succumbs to ambition and avarice, it's that much more devastating. You could call this movie the tragedy of Coriolanus Snow. It feels like a Sophoclean play crossed with Anakin Skywalker's fall to the dark side. Meanwhile, it's nice to see Rachel Zegler in a role that's not relegated to girlfriend status. If you were expecting a Katniss clone, you are in for disappointment. As one of the Covey, think gypsies, Zegler's Lucy Gray possesses a grit, vivacity, and authenticity I wasn't expecting. She's tenacious, but also incredibly vulnerable. Zegler imbues Lucy Gray with true agency and has excellent chemistry with Blythe. That their relationship is ultimately doomed doesn't make it any less captivating or tragic. And if you needed any further proof of the pipes on Zegler, look no further. Her musical rendition of The Hanging Tree, as well as her impromptu performance at The Reaping, had me almost in tears. Zegler's musical numbers pair nicely with James Newton Howard's somewhat subtle and haunting score. At only 22, Zegler's future looks exceedingly bright, and I can't wait to see what she does next. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes also boasts an incredible supporting cast as well. Peter Dinklage delivers an atypical performance. His drug-addicted, morose, and apathetic Casca Highbottom is unlike anything you've ever seen from him before. Highbottom is vindictive, harboring an unknown grudge against Coriolanus. When the reasoning is revealed towards the end of the movie, it completely recontextualizes the actions of the character. Hunter Schafer also delivers as Coriolanus' cousin and confidant Tigress. She roots for Coriolanus, but also wants him to retain his humanity. When that ultimately fails, it makes her final line that much more chilling. Jason Schwartzman is also having the time of his life hamming it up as Lucky Flickerman, the first host of the Hunger Games and the ancestor to Stanley Tucci's Caesar Flickerman. Josh Andres Rivera really impressed me as Sejanus Plinth. He seems to be the only one fully self-aware of how diabolical the Hunger Games actually are. He's so torn up inside, I just wanted to give him a hug. However, it's Viola Davis's head game maker, Dr. Volumina Gall, who stands head and shoulders above the rest of the cast. She devours scenes with a malicious glee. Her Gall is diabolical, psychotic, and truly terrifying. On the whole, I only had a few minor quibbles with the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. At 157 minutes, it's slightly too long and could have been a little bit tighter. Additionally, despite some excellent costumes and set design, some of the CGI, particularly the scenes with the snakes, is noticeable and takes you out of the movie. Lastly, while I enjoyed most of the third act, it was occasionally stiff and at odds when juxtaposed against the first two-thirds of the film. Nevertheless, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes proves to be a delightful return to Pan Am, and one that will entertain fans of the original and newcomers. As our titular protagonist would say, snow lands on top. And that's why I'm giving The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes an 8 on 10. It is great.